Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. I'm Oswin, and I have with me Lord Knight. So today, we're going to talk about sacrifice.
Ooh, sacrifice.
I know. Big word.
Ooh, sacrifice. You know, well, what do you think sacrifice is?
Well, according to Merriam-Webster, the meaning of sacrifice is the act of giving up something that you want to keep, especially in order to get or do something else or to help someone. It also says an act of killing a person or animal in a religious ceremony is an offering to please a god. An act or offering to a deity, destruction or surrender of something for the sake of something else.
All right. I mean, these are all correct. These are the acts of sacrifice as we think of. The concept of sacrifice, though, is completely different for different cultures.
Okay.
Okay. Well, from my understanding, Native Americans, to get something, they have to sacrifice something. All right. So if they want a new car, the thought goes like this: I have to get rid of the old car, so I got room for a new car.
Okay, so that fits in with one of these definitions
Right.
here, is to give something else, to give up something in order to get something else.
Right. There's an interesting concept. Okay. Just like, you know, some people have the concept of, I'm going to sacrifice this for the sake of my kids. You know, I'm going to sacrifice this good job or whatever because I got kids. All right. Now, to sacrifice something is to make holy.
Explain.
Let's understand this way. The word dyslexic, dys meaning cannot, and lex, which is short for lexicon, which translates into read, means cannot read. So the word itself means this.
Okay.
So sacrifice, the actual word, correctly translated, from my understanding, means to make holy. So like in most pagan, and especially in my understanding, especially in voodoo, where if they might sacrifice a chicken or some type of animal, yes, it's killed, its life is given for the ritual, but the animal's not going to waste. They'll wind up eating the animal. So the chicken will finish being prepared and cooked.
Okay. So nothing's wasted.
Nothing's wasted. So this isn't like the concept that we think of from the Hebrew traditions, where you kill a beast, drain the blood from it, set it on fire, and let it just burn completely away. And then you don't touch that. This to them is what makes this holy, this animal or what they're doing holy. Does that make sense, that they have to give a life to make stuff holy? There's also another concept, and it's pretty common in more of the Celtic traditions, is an act of creation is a sacrifice.
Okay, go into a little more detail on that.
Okay. You want to make an anthem.
Okay.
All right. The sacrifice you're making is your time, your effort, your energy in doing this from scratch. That's what makes the item holy.
Okay.
By creating it, you're having to sacrifice something else. Make sense?
That makes sense, yes.
Okay. So for like kids, you give up half the DNA. The woman gives up half the DNA. You create new life. That life is sacred.
Okay.
The sacrifices that you hear a lot of people talk about is this type of sacrifice. That you're going to have to sacrifice something for something else because you can't have it all.
Well, it's still a giving up of something in order to receive something.
Right. If you're wanting to be a great rock star or something, yes, you're going to have to probably forsake certain relationships and certain things and parties and stuff to do this.
Right. You're going to have to put a lot of work into it.
Right.
A lot of rehearsals. You're sacrificing a social life, relationships, family. You're giving up a lot of stuff in order to get it done.
Right. And why in the world some of these rock stars and stuff get all wrapped up in drugs and stuff is beyond me, because that's not a sacrifice.
No.
But when you have somebody doing that, when you have doctors and nurses and lawyers and politicians willing to sacrifice their needs and their wants to help others, this becomes a more grander scheme of things.
Right.
All right. Where people should not sacrifice is when they come to their ethics and morals. At no time do I believe anybody should sacrifice their ethics and morals to get something done. All right. To me, you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to hold yourself to those standards.
Right. Well, yeah, because, that's ultimately what guides us. And
you look at like politicians. Okay, and here's where I have this problem. I see a lot of politicians that once they get into office and all this, suddenly forsake what in the world they said they were going to do, their morality and stuff like that to get certain things done. And I'm sorry, why do we keep on electing people who can just give up what they stand for so easily?
Right.
For nothing more than money or copper or whatever.
Well, honestly, those people, I believe,
those people are the ones that are still in power. Those people, those elderly people that in there that have compromised theirs are still there. Well, and it bothers me to see that people are sacrificing something this basic to keep on electing these corrupt people.
Well, personally, I think those politicians, they're not the ones sacrificing anything.
They're not.
Because they don't have those ethics and morals to begin with.
What they're sacrificing is the people that elected them.
Well, sure. But I'm saying as far as they are concerned, they didn't give up those ethics and morals. They were just spouting words.
Spouting words to get what in the world they wanted at the end of the day.
I could be wrong.
And what kills me is yet people still keep on electing this.
Right.
Y'all, to me, this is y'all are sacrificing y'all's ethics and morals for destruction.
Right, because you're reelecting all these idiots.
Right. You're reelecting all these criminals and stuff. But I'm sorry, you see these politicians and they do certain stuff and they do it over and over again. And nobody has the ethics or morals to go, I'm not voting for you anymore.
Right.
You're not keeping your word. You're selling us out to do all this other stuff. So, again, if you're going to be making these sacrifices, if you are honestly making these sacrifices to make the world better, wake up, pay attention to what in the world you're doing.
Right.
What are you giving up? Because no matter what in the world you think you're going to get or whatever, if you think it doesn't matter what in the world it is, nothing comes for free.
Oh, absolutely not.
There's always a price tag attached to it. And if you're sitting there thinking that you're going to be living in some Star Trek fantasy world, you're not. It's not going to happen. We do not have that type of technology, and we're not going to. And still to this day, this seems to break the laws of physics. Understand how in the world they think they do it. They could do it, but we still don't have the technology to do this.
Right.
So you don't get something for nothing. So people are going to have to start asking themselves when they're sitting there to make decisions on stuff, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up to have that? If you want a lifestyle where you're going out and partying all the time, it is going to be a short life.
Right.
There's no use in coming to me and whining about that, whining about not having money or whatever. If you're out spending it like faster than you can make it.
But it's what you wanted, so.
It's what you wanted. This is the price you got to pay. And I know what a lot of people say, well, we can just cast the spell. No. It don't work that way.
No. I mean, theoretically, you could cast a spell, but it's not going to do you much good.
Yeah, but my question is what did you give up?
Exactly.
Because we warn people all the time, be careful what you wish for. Because we understand sacrifice. People sacrifice stuff all day. I know it sounds stupid to sit there, but going out to eat and choosing, option 1 versus option 2, that means you've got to sacrifice something else. You can't have both. Well, I guess you could if you got the money, but really?
Depending on the restaurant, you're still making a sacrifice. You're giving up what your hard-earned money to go eat somewhere.
Just to go eat somewhere. And how many hours did it take for you just to go have a burger at some local restaurant?
Right. How many hours of work did it take to pay for that steak dinner?
Exactly. You sacrificed something. You sacrificed your time and your effort for a cheeseburger.
Right. Was it worth it?
Was it really worth it? I just don't understand how in the world people sit there and don't think about the sacrifices that they make so easily and effortlessly. I have worked jobs. I have looked at bosses and go, no, they might have been great jobs. You're not treating me this way.
Right.
Because sometimes it has to be that way.
Sometimes it does.
But then on the other hand, don't get me wrong, not everybody out in the world's out to get you.
No.
A lot of people do stuff and it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. What they want, what they need.
Right.
Not what you need. I know people probably out there right now probably sort of listen to this going, well, they're going to be talking about ritual sacrifices. Well, you know what? I make a lot of sacrifices during ritual.
Well, yeah.
I sacrifice the time and the effort to write the ritual, perform the ritual, get everybody together to do said ritual, to celebrate the gods.
Right. And lots of times you're also giving up your time because it's usually done in your home.
Well,
For a lot of covens, that's what we do. We hold ritual space in our homes.
Oh, God, because God forbid everybody quit buying fucking crystals and actually donate to their temples. But, hey, I digress.
What? Oh, no, you can't say that.
Because, it's more important to sacrifice that money for a damn rock. That's where this all starts to go completely in this realm of what in the hell are people actually thinking about? You want a rock over a place that you could worship and connect with deity.
Safely. I mean, we've heard all the horror stories. There was a coven that we were close with in South Carolina, and they were doing rituals in their backyard. And we heard their horror stories. People shooting fireworks and bottle rockets and calling the police on them and... so they had to worry about that because they were in a neighborhood.
Well, I mean, it's even like in the gay community. And this just baffles me because in our day, we had to use our freedom of speech to get the message out. Hey, gay people, we're just gay. Right. We're not going to molest your kids. We're not trying to convert them. The majority of us just want to live in peace and just be left alone.
Right.
But yet I see the gay community right now, we don't need freedom of speech. We got to hold off on this. We can't let them say that. Yes, we can.
Sure we can.
Because the same thing we use to get our rights is the same rights that they have, and we can't take them away from them.
No, because if we take theirs away, then...
we'll be sacrificing it from ourselves.
Right.
If we give it up.
And that does nobody any good.
That does nobody. All right? We went through the pagan community or the Celtic community went through a freaking Holocaust because the church denied us the right to defend our fucking selves, then burnt all our freaking priests and priestesses.
Right.
All right. And now here are people we'll give it up. Oh, go on, take our guns. We don't need them.
No.
No, that's when the boxcars start showing up. That's when you start getting shuffled off. That's when you start going into jail for nothing more than looking at somebody the wrong way. Here's a sacrifice I'm not willing to make. I'm sorry, your safety is not worth my freedoms.
Right.
At any cost. And everything I have known about craft tells me that the individual has responsibility and has to do. They have to sacrifice and contribute to their clan and their tribe to do so. No, everybody go off and do what in the world they want.
Well, and I think then too, there's a lot of people, because I mean, you mentioned something earlier about you don't understand why or how people can just give up stuff willy-nilly and not even think about it. I think it's just because so many times we do things that we know or this is the way we have to do this to get this outcome. And we don't really think about that sacrifice because it's who we are.
All third degrees in traditional temples, we all make a sacrifice. That sacrifice is everything from our mental and emotional to our physical health to keep these beliefs alive,
Right.
to keep it going, to protect craft at all costs. But yet I go out there and I see these so-called Wiccans making a mockery of our fucking religion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just an out-and-out mockery. Oh, yeah, just do whatever you want and cast a spell. Oh, and I'm going to cast a spell once a day. What the fuck are you doing?
I've got to practice my spell casting. No, what you need to do is you need to work on your focus.
What you need to do is work on your goddamn fucking problems.
Right?
Your problems.
Work on your problems, do your meditations.
That will not be fixed by magic because magic can't fix what's in your head.
Oh, I'm about to get myself in trouble.
Go for it.
You can't fix stupid.
Can't fix stupid. There is no such spell. It does not exist. Oh my God. Trust me, I would sacrifice stupidity in a moment.
Right? God's help us. Oh.
But yet, these people out there making a mockery of the stuff we're doing. Sitting there, hey, I got 50 altars to 50 different gods that I have to pray to each day.
Right.
And I got so much junk. I digress.
Yes, that's
All right.
Podcast.
All right. The sacrifices that a lot of us are talking about, these are sacrifices that only affect us. All right. Being a priest and stuff, the stuff I am sacrificing is to keep pushing craft ahead to get newer and more sound ideas out there.
Right.
All right. A lot of meditation, a lot of research. Trust me, a lot more meditation. And even then, I'm going to be putting out some of these ideas, and I know some people are going to try to crush them in 5 seconds flat.
That's fun.
That's fine. But I'm not sacrificing this time and the effort for nothing. I am sacrificing this so people start to understand there is another culture underneath all of this, and it is a more traditional stuff. Traditional witchcraft is not goddamn folk magic.
Right.
It's the stuff we learned from our elders that our elders learned from their elders and so forth and so on.
Right. If you're out there calling traditional witchcraft folk magic, then I'm sorry, you're wrong.
No.
You're wrong. That's not what traditional witchcraft is.
No. Folk magic and stuff like that is Appalachian magic stuff where it's, and I hate to be this way, the Appalachian magic is the same thing as voodoo. It is a mixture of Christian, Southern Christian beliefs and stuff that came from the highlands of Scotland. Up in the Appalachian Mountains, it is not. That is folk magic.
Well, and it does, Appalachian magic does include some voodoo, some hoodoo,
voodoo type stuff. And voodoo does the same thing, but it's African beliefs mixed in with Catholicism.
Right. It's a mixture.
It's a mixture. That's folk magic. There's folklore and stuff like this because every granny I knew growing up could pray the fire out of a burn.
Mm-hmm.
By saying certain passages from the Bible while blowing a cross on your arm or wherever you burn.
Right.
That's folk magic. And that's magic. That's just magic.
Yeah, but for those people, that is their religion.
No, that's it. But again, their only thing there is magic. There's nothing else. There's nothing greater. It's just the magic.
No, not from what I've researched.
No, what I'm saying is there are people out there right now in the Wiccan community. That's it.
Oh yeah.
There's no religion. There's nothing there whatsoever. It's just goddamn fucking spell work. Stop.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're calling Wicca.
Wicca. It's this.
It's turned into this new agey,
alien
non-spiritual
overlords crap that has nothing to do with anything.
Right. It's non-spiritual. It's, we're going to read cards. We're going to cast spells. We're going to work with our crystals. No.
I mean, yeah, you are sort of making a sacrifice, but I don't see them sacrificing anything but the personalities. To be fucking drones.
Right.
All right? I'm sorry. Every last one of them's all read the same books and it's about the same stuff and they all sound the same.
Right.
And then when you start pushing it, now don't get me wrong. Other religious concepts and stuff, yeah, we should look at, we should study. All right. But when you start cobbling together this piece and that piece of this, and you're putting it together with duct tape and anything beyond the freaking surface scratch suddenly makes the whole thing fall apart because they have sacrificed their spirituality for vagueness and magic.
Right. There's nothing cohesive to hold anything together.
Right? Where the majority of the people I know would sacrifice magic in a heartbeat for wisdom and knowledge and communion with the gods for that spiritual connection.
Right.
I mean, is this really a sacrifice y'all were why are y'all so willing to make this?
I don't know.
I don't either. I think I'm about done with this. But sacrifice is not that hard of a subject. And I still like the fact that in the Celtic beliefs, it's an act of creation. You should be creating stuff. You should be making new things, new concepts, pushing those limits, putting those ideas out there. And again, I don't see it. I see the same basic fluffy bunny crap going on that's been going on for years now.
Right.
Nobody has brought anything new to the table.
No.
And I'm sorry. Sitting there going, ooh, well, what about chaos magic? Or what about that? It's fucking magic, people.
Magic is magic.
It's magic. It's magic. If you know how to cast a spell for luck, you know how to wake the dead.
Right.
It's not that complicated. If you know how to do a curse, you know how to do a healing. It works the same damn way.
Right. But even your spell work requires sacrifice.
And it also requires effort upon your part. That's what you're sacrificing.
Yep. You're sacrificing your energy, your emotions, your time. The old adage, blood, sweat, and tears.
I mean,
literally everything of craft that I know as a religion and a belief system is all based on the whole entire principle of if I give you a fish, you eat for a day. If I teach you to fish, you'll eat for a freaking lifetime.
Right.
And in craft, we go, okay, now you know how to fish. Now I'm going to teach you how to build the rod and the line and how to find the worms and how to get a lot of worms and all this until I know every last bit of it, until I can get this down just right. No, we'll just cast the spell instead and just let it all go.
We'll cast the spell and wait for the fish to wash up on the shore.
Sure. And I'm sure y'all's deaths that sacrifice helped to feed that spell and allow the younger ones who could live longer without food and water until the fish came up. The main point on all of this is be careful. Pay attention to what you're actually sacrificing.
Right.
Is it really worth it?
Right. Know what you're sacrificing. Know what the cost of it is, and be prepared.
Are you
prepared to lose that?
Right. Are you willing to lose your family and your loved ones just for a job? Or are there other things that are more important to you? Because again, like I said, I see these people and they'll do it. I'm just going to do a spell because I can. I don't really need a new job, but I'm going to do a spell. Why? And why can't you get a job without a spell?
Right.
Anyway, I'm out of coffee.
I'm out of coffee too. We'll see you next week.
All right. Y'all come back and see us now.
Thank you for listening to Pagan Coffee Talk. I hope you join us next week.
We travel down this trodden path, the maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning.